Joining us today is Ron Kooy, GM of Major Projects at AGC. He'll be speaking at Modular Construction and Pre-Assembled Fabrication, which takes place on the 16th to 18th of November 2010 in Perth. Hello Ron, thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here.
First of all, can you explain how at AGC you're increasing the importance of logistics and early contractor engagement to increase the chances of success in your modular projects?
Look, James, at every opportunity we're talking to our clients. I mean, one of the key things about the change in focus of our customers has been with the rise in Chinese fabrication and offshore fabrication, particularly in Southeast Asia and China, as a low-cost provider of quality work. It's changed really the nature of the construction industry, certainly in Western Australia, for major projects coming up, and we see that in the LNG market with the Pluto work that's currently in completion phase, and the upcoming Gorgon work where modules are being fabricated overseas, and also in the mining and resources area where BHP and Rio Tinto have large modular structures that are being used now at inland mine sites across the northwest here in Western Australia. So AGC's involvement there has been to really provide support to our key customers in understanding what are the constraints in doing that work overseas and bringing it into Australia, and how the best way it is to land those modules and to bring them onshore and hook them up properly. We've had a long success story in our coming from a fabrication background. AGC's main business in the past has been fabrication. We've since moved into the construction arena, but we've held facilities down at the AMC yard at Henderson, down by Kwinana, and those facilities have built a number of topsides and jackets for the offshore industry, and storage tanks, sub-assembled storage tanks, sub-assembled conveyor sections and other parts of mining equipment in the recent past. So we've got some first-hand experience with handling large modules both by sea up to the northwest and also by road through up into the northwest there as well. So through that experience we've got some expertise in handling modules. So as the work has moved offshore, we were in a key position to be able to provide some support to our customers for that introduction of those large modules into Australia.
And how do you facilitate collaboration across the whole construction value chain to minimise supply chain schedule risk?
Well, the thing I like to recommend is early contractor involvement. That's the key message that we're trying to present to our customers in the industry and in industry in general, because really the handling of these modules is a specialised art, and you need to be involved right at the very front end of the work. So when the module's in fabrication, you need to understand, or even before in fabrication, in design, you need to be able to provide input into the correct transport windows that are available within Australia in the particular location where that module is going to be transported to. So right back at the design phase, we're talking about how big the module needs to be. In the fabrication phase, we're talking about the module being made to the correct quality and tolerances so that it can easily be landed onto the foundations and joined up with adjacent modules. And then as the module is shipped and the modules are shipped to Australia, that we're involved in the actual offloading operation onto heavy lift transport and can work out what the correct transport routes are through from the port to the site, so that there's minimum disturbance both to the community and also to the environment, and then to bring them successfully to the site so they can be landed where they need to go.
And how can experienced mechanical contractors involved with modular schemes identify issues in advance and provide installation solutions?
Look, I think that's, like I said before, I think that's all about early involvement. We identify issues through looking at the design, being able to understand, and looking at the transport route and looking at saying, well, these bridges aren't able to cope with that capacity, and so we have to relook at our design for those modules and look at the available transport equipment for the module and make sure that we have the correct configuration for module transport across the country into the correct site. And also that we understand how the modules are actually going to be loaded onto the ship for the correct sequence of module delivery, so that when we take a module off the ship, it's the right one to be transported down the road with a minimum of fuss, so that it actually gets erected in the right sequence on site, and we don't have a lot of double handling of large-scale modules. So experienced mechanical contractors provide, in my view, provide key input into each of those parts of the equation, and really are the linkage between the actual design, the fabrication, the shipping work, the actual heavy lift transport company that is involved in usually moving those modules, and then the final installation work that we would normally perform.
You're speaking at IIR's Modular Construction and Pre-Assembled Fabrication Conference, which takes place on the 16th to 18th of November 2010 in Perth. What will you be addressing in your presentation? There,
I think we'll be looking in detail about what it means to be involved through the design phase for a contractor, and perhaps his heavy lift transport support, and what are the key issues that designers need to look at. Then moving into fabrication and looking at where the contractor needs to be involved in to ensure that the fabricated item is correct for the site, and that so the contractor can know when he receives it on the site that he's confident that it will fit where it needs to go, and that there'll be a minimum of rework that needs to be done. He can also self-support. We'll also be talking about the question of rework and the question of carryover works that occur. And finally, we'll be talking about, second to finally, we'll be talking about the transport of those modules to site, and how the role of the transport contractor is key in and having a close relationship with him, organising that, and the whole issues of permitting and moving the modules to site, and then finally erecting them in the plant, and what we need to look at in terms of how we plan those lifts, and how we provide a safe solution to using modular construction on construction sites. What key benefits does your company gain from attending events such as this? Look, clearly there's a raising of awareness in the marketplace of AGC's position in being able to deliver this. We're at the moment hooking up modules that have been delivered to us on the Pluto project, and have been successfully doing that over the past year. We're currently moving modules inland from Port Hedland to Yandy for BHP, and so we have first-hand experience, recent experience with large modules, and so we've got a lot of key lessons learned to share, and I think our company gains quite a lot of credibility as a result of being able to participate in these conferences. Ron Kooy, many thanks for your time today. It's a pleasure, James.